Well, good evening, good morning, good night, good afternoon. This is Dan Anderson saying welcome to the webinar this week. As you can see, we have finally caught up with the brand space, and we have now got a representation of me with my newfangled beard, and I think I look really, really good. But your mileage may vary with that. But when you start to run out of hair on top, you have to sort of add it somewhere else. So I have now got that look that you see before you there, and I'm quite pleased with it. But maybe that's just me. Call it another my sixth midlife crisis or something like that. But it is what it is. Now we have this webinar going here today because we are just getting ready and we're gearing up for next week's webinar, which is the big one. We've been telling you for a few weeks that is the 20th of August that counts, and that's the one that you want to get all of your people on. On this call, I have Mihir Magudia, and if we're lucky, we might have Andy Hansen as well. So if we can move the slides forward, because I don't seem to have mouse control of that. Not quite sure why, because it says that I do have that, but I don't. So we're going to ask our UK team to help with that. And so we got the normal sort of stuff, and we got some interesting things on e-learning, which I wanted to bring your attention to. Some events and some seminars going on, some announcements around DMS and LeoCoin Stage 3 as well. But without further ado, we'll go into recognition, because we have a new director, Shu Zhao, who has become a director out of the Asia Pacific market, and this is kind of just one of those achievements that is a bit of a big one, because people are sort of saying, I want to get to platinum, and then they say they want to get to associate, and then they go up the plan. But the director position is one of those key achievements in our plan, because that's when it doesn't happen by accident. You've got to do this, build this organization, you've got to build this sales volume, you've got to move into the market, and we're always very, very pleased to be announcing these. We also have some updates on some other markets, in particular the UK one, later on in the program here today. But congratulations, Shu, for that achievement, and great to have you on the team. Now, as we go forward, like I said to you, we also have movement in the UK market, and I'm very, very pleased to announce that Dr. Javeed Akhtar has done very, very, very well for himself, and I'm going to get none other than Mihir Magudia come online to talk about that, because he knows Javeed very, very well, and has seen him grow his business over the last few years, and it's just nice to see that he's getting recognition both by us and in the media and in the world, in the landscape of PR, which is Mihir's domain. Mihir, are you there? I see the microphone is still grayed out, so I'm going to.
Yes,
There you
I'm
are.
here.
There you
Excellent. So yes, I think I first met Javeed a couple of years ago now, and was always quite impressed with his energy, with his positivity, his real commitment to changing his life, to building something bigger than himself, which is always wonderful when you get to meet people with that sense of ambition. And absolutely delighted for him that he's gone director. He's built business all over the place. He's been quite relentless in his approach. He's talked to everyone. He's been around the world. He's done all sorts of incredible things to get himself there. And it's fantastic that he's finally made it to director, and who knows what's next after this. Now, by fortune, by coincidence, by the gods doing what they're supposed to be doing, in the same week as that, he's been covered in Business for Home magazine about his success. So talking about how much effort he's had to put in, talking about the idea of his ambition and his vision. It's a really, it's a good read if you've not read it yet, or everyone on this call really, and something I highly recommend, because Javeed's one of those guys that you can't help but not be happy for him when he achieves success. He instantly sort of inspires a sense of joy and light wherever he goes, and absolutely delighted for him for his director achievement, and also for this great little article, because it's again another demonstration about how Leo leaders really are some of the best around the world. Leo leaders are the ones that get covered. Leo leaders are the ones who have questions asked of them, and we're always very, very proud when we see another one of these happen.
Indeed, and because the gods are doing their work, I think we find in our attendee list that Akhtar Munir Javeed is #1, and I'm assuming that is him. So I'm going to take a flyer on that and unmute him to see if this is indeed Dr. Javeed Akhtar. But I'm not sure if it will go green or not, depending on what he's accessing the webinar from. May not be working there. Oh, what a shame, because he could have said a few words. But never mind. Okay, fine. So we move swiftly on to the next slide and to the next part of the presentation. And I think, Mihir, it's just as well that you're here, because my mouse control is still not working. But e-learning, yeah. Let me start on this, Mihir, rather than you. I'm quite very proud to say that we identified that e-learning some 6 years ago would become a huge trend, and already was starting to emerge as a trend that has now become blatantly obvious. If you can see on the just a few of the stats there, by 2019. Videos will be responsible for 80% of global internet traffic. And I remember when the internet first came through in the early 1990s, and every time you logged on back in those days, the internet kind of changed its look, and suddenly it went from green text on a black screen to text with small GIF images, and then it turned into something else and something else. Well, now the internet is turning into a video platform. If 80% of the traffic is on there, and if you see what some of the platforms are doing with video, it was something that we kind of saw, and we wanted to develop core competency in video production and e-learning production, because that's something that we wanted to own in Leo, so that we could do good work there. Now, video-based learning is becoming self-evidently huge, and it's growing in the corporate arena, in the academic arena. It's growing by masses of percentages. And most Western associations and organizations are now offering e-learning in one way, shape, or another. And to be part of this landscape is something that we're very, very pleased about. And our platform, while it still has a long way to go to where we want to drive it, we recognize that e-learning and our particular subset of that, which is entrepreneurship training, is a great positioning for a direct selling business. And so we are very, very pleased to be part of this growing industry, this monumental platform that is emerging in the world. And everywhere we go, we are seeing people participating, and especially in some of our developing markets, e-learning has become something that is a route to education, to qualifications, to improving your knowledge and your skills for a hungry population that wants to participate in entrepreneurship. And so Leo comes into that dialogue, if you like, or it comes into that sort of landscape and becomes a very, very meaningful solution to people. So this is something that you mustn't neglect. While many of you are very enthusiastic about Leo as a business and our compensation plan and our ownership programs and all of these things, the core proposition that we have is e-learning, live seminars, education and training. And what we're seeing is a big uptake in engagement on that, where in the year between August 16 and July 17, we had so many thousand activation of courses. Between August 17 and July 2018, that more than doubled. And this is sort of testimony to the fact that, one, our products are hitting the market even better, and two, our members are starting to get what this is about. Now, we always want to remember that in direct sales, you have to have a sales proposition that is more than an income plan. You have to have a product that moves to an end user, and this is something that in some of our markets, people in their enthusiasm forget. But if you look at the top 10 countries using our e-learning courses in Leo, it's a cool little list, because it's got multiple languages, multiple cultures, multiple it's kind of got a geographical spread that is phenomenal, and it's really addressing this global platform that we have of a multicultural business. Now, what we want to do is we want to strengthen that, because, like I said, we have a core competency in our company, which is that we can produce content. That might not have been true 6 years ago, where we had to sort of get content from other people. But now what we're doing increasingly is flying in experts into the UK studios to create content with our team. So there's lots of talent out there. There's lots of people who have knowledge and skills, but they haven't productized it yet. And we want to then, in that sense, act as a publisher where we can get sort of great courses in Spanish and great courses in French and great courses in Chinese that we co-produce with the originator of the content, if you like, because they don't have time to do it. They might not have the skills to do it, but we can act together and create this thing. The Dr. Moyes in the Urdu speaking markets of ours has created some great products that are having a phenomenal uptake now. And he's doing these wealth-based NLP kind of trainings that are just really hitting their mark. I want to have you guys help me that if you have an inspirational trainer, if you have someone who's changed your life, make an introduction or give us a lead or set something up so that we can invite him to come and participate in Leo, because content providers, trainers are looking for an audience. They're looking for a market, and we are now a company that has that market. So this is kind of the ultimate win-win for the next 5 years of us, how we will team up with content providers and provide life-changing courses that will really, just one brain at a time, maybe make a big impact on the world. So this is kind of what I burn for, and this is what I'm passionate about. So if you look at Leo's core line, our best sellers are all to do with entrepreneurship. They're in presentation skills and public speaking, entrepreneurial skill sets, including how to quit your job. JOB is a definition of just over broke. Come on board and build your own business where you have no ceilings. They teach team management skills because we're a direct selling company and we have teams. So we have great content on that side as well. We also have English language courses because our company is English, and many of our members are having English as a second or even a third language, and so this is a great opportunity for them to improve their English in the business environment that we create, as well as in the products that we can sell to them. Business management, public speaking, technical skills. So we have some great content that we're pushing out there, and increasingly, as I said at the beginning of this, people are activating it more and more and more and more. And the proposition that we have is really phenomenal, where for a 12-month period you can eat as much as you like of literally just thousands of training products that can lift your soul to another level. I visited one of our global marketing directors' homes just recently, and on the walls there were some of the pictures from some of our big events, but also qualifications and certificates from some of the courses that this director had completed and hung up in pride of place in his house. And I think that's a very important message to his downline and to all of us, that ultimately our narrative and our proposition is training, and never be ashamed of that, because as we go forward, that's going to become more and more part of what we do. But I'm going to hand the microphone back to me here to talk about some of the enhancements that are coming through on our member back office, and some of the screenshots here are very, very nice indeed, and I'm very, very pleased to be sharing the upgrade on our back office as well. Me here.
Thanks very much, Dan. So we're constantly investing in our member user experience. It's really important to us that you all have the best information right at your fingertips. It's all there right in front of you. You're not having to spend days and weeks hunting around menus and options and tedious sort of route paths and all the rest of it, because that can be, well, soul destroying if you're anything like me in terms of your sense of patience for access to information. And at the end of this week, I think this is going live for everybody, where we'll have an entirely new looking back office with all the information right there in front of you, with incentive data up the top, with earnings information. On the next slide, I think that shows what your teams are doing. It's yes, there we are, and it's really a much improved user interface, which means that it's much easier for you to run your business, because you're not spending time working out the back office. You're spending your time talking to people. You're spending your time selling products. You're spending your time doing the things you got into network marketing to do. And obviously your ownership is now presented in a much, much better way. Your business is summarized. It's how far you are from the rank. All of this stuff was kind of somewhere on the back office before, but now it's been reorganized, it's been represented to you in a way that hopefully should help your business run much better, and will certainly become a much better tool for you to show your prospects. when you want to show them through the back office, when you want to show them what it is they can do with their Leo business, you've got a much sexier, much more attractive thing to be looking at, which will hopefully, and a much easier thing to use, which will hopefully bring them in faster, get them to that point of saying yes a lot quicker. So what we're trying to do here is really just give you the tools you need to get the job done. And this is a big, big leap forward in that direction. And the graphics team, the design team, and the IT team have worked very, very hard to get this done. And I think if you haven't got it on your back office today, then by the end of this week, you should be seeing it working up there. And we're very, very pleased with how it's working. Thanks very much, Dan.
Thank you, Mihir. Now, the other thing that I'm always very keen to see and promote on these calls is what our members are doing, because at the end of the day, our business is not going to grow to where we want to take it by running 2 or 3 great big events every year. This is going to happen by thousands of small interactions between our community and new people that they're inviting along to understand what we do and where we're coming from and what we're hoping to achieve. So our Asia Pacific community is doing incredibly good work here, and a lot of this is coming through in Stone's team. But it's also nice to see people like Hua and Angel working and driving some of these events, because they're absolutely incredible, because there's kind of so much. It's kind of so genuine and so real and so devoid of kind of hype and bullshit that really sort of touches me on that sort of integrity bone, that this is a real business that we're building up, not a hype business and a hanky-panky business. So here is an event that happened in Hebei, Tangshan. They opened a new Leo store. 70 members, which is not a world-breaking number by any stretch of the imagination, but they celebrated the 4th birthday of Leo Coin, and then did a training workshop where they invited new people to participate and play with Leo and get to know us and see what we're about. At the same time, a few days later, in Pujian, in Fujian, 50 merchants, Leo merchants and members from all over the world attended an event and celebrated our 4th anniversary in China. And this is, again, they put such effort into these things with branding and cakes and goodness knows what else. And their faces are always so happy, and I love that, because this is kind of the community that we want to build, where people and ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things together. Now, there's also one in Foshan, and I wish I knew where that was, celebrating again the 4th anniversary of Leo in China, and this coincided with the autumn festivals and things, so there was kind of a great sense of celebration going on. But you can see Angel here, and I have it on certain grounds that people can now lease cars out of this dealership for and paying with Leo coin. Now, that might be fairly eye-watering to at the price that Leo coin is at the moment, to spend so much on leasing a car, but it's nice to know that you can. And Leo coin accepted here is something that we're going to be pushing as we go to the upgrade number 3 here of Leo coin, getting on to the next level. We want to drive a very, very dynamic merchant program, so it's great to see that the community is already going there through their own efforts and initiatives. Here's another one that I'm very, very keen to share with you, because you might recall that at very short notice, because some of our members and some of our executives had problems with visa for the destination that we were going for, we suddenly decided to take them to Nepal instead and do the Mount Everest experience, where we took them up by helicopter to Mount Everest's base camp, and this became a very, very popular thing and very, very well promoted, and people sort of said that Leo takes you to the top of the world, all of these things. What was also going on at the time was that a small little embryonic team of Nepalese had joined the business just a few weeks before, and they came to meet us in the hotel, and they came to meet all of these executives, and they've carried on and they're building the business. And in Nepal on the 4th of August, much thanks to the efforts of engineer Muhammad Salim, they have an event over there, and I tried to plug into this, but we somehow got the timings wrong, because I was going to speak at this and come in on Skype and share some of my perspective with them, but I was there apparently 4 hours early or something like this, so they weren't awake. So there you have it. So these are the things that happen in a global business. But nice to see our business in Nepal, and it really is one of those countries that really inspired me, because they've got a lot going against them in some way, because it's quite poor, and they're landlocked, and they have their difficulties, and they have their difficult neighbors, and goodness knows what else. But they're building a Leo business, and all power to you in Nepal. Now, as we go forward here, we also did a live seminar in London this weekend, and we've been promoting this for the last 4, 5, 6 weeks or so, and it was a very great success, or so I've been told, where Andy Hansen, and as you can see on the pictures there, David Johnston, and none other than Paul Southworth, Order of the British Empire, and our advisor to the Leo board, attended together with Amir Barlas and the UK leaders. Do we have Mandy still around me here?
Mandy's around, and Andy's around as well.
No, no, I want Andy rather than Mandy, because I think Mandy would be a headlight.
Well, it's very lucky, Dan. I've left my wig at home, so it is Andy. Great to be with you all. It was a great event on Saturday. It was in Canary Wharf, so a beautiful area of London. And it was a great event, great energy. Paul Southworth did an amazing job explaining to the members why Leo is the right company for them and for their future, and the importance of compliance with the DSA and all that stuff. Did a tremendous job. And David did a great job talking about the Portugal property and Leo property crowdfunding. And in fact, over 80 people in the audience pre-registered with David to say, when you launch your property crowdfunding for Portugal, I would like to participate, which is very, very encouraging. The highlight of the day had to be recognition. Over 150 people were recognized for moving their business on and achieving new ranks. We had, gosh, over 60 platinums, 30 executives, and the most exciting part of the day was the second ever director in the UK, the Good Doctor, and very, very emotional for everybody that was there to do that recognition and to hear their stories. It was really was a great day. Live seminar, and then we followed it up with a Discover Leo, which was great for Paul and I to sit at the back and watch the leaders doing their presentation and watching the prospects' faces. So all in all, a great event, very, very well put on. The team did a great job, and the member team did a great job in making it come together, along with the events team here. So it was a great day, and we look forward to an even bigger event next time. We have members coming from everywhere: Dubai, Spain, Italy, Sweden, France. They were flying in from all over the place. So it was a truly international event, even though it was in London.
I can't understand why people would fly in from Dubai when you're going to Dubai next weekend, isn't it?
Well,
No,
they said they decided to come to London before they knew about the Dubai event.
But you are sharing the stage with Mr. Waka Suhail, our GM from the Dubai region.
In Dubai, I'm very much looking forward to it. So we've got the live seminar there and a Discover Leo, and then we're also going to be doing some training with our staff while we're there, which is a great thing too.
Yeah, exactly. So this is all part of the challenges and joys of being a global business, because we have events and platforms and offices in all of these different regions, and we kind of just have to hit the ground traveling. So thank you, Andy, for your support on all of the trainings that you're doing and the continents that you're visiting on behalf of Leo. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So all good. So where are we at now? Now we're going to be talking about Brazil. And while I've got you on then, Andy, the people on the call have been hearing me here extol massively about the Brazil thing. But from your perspective, as one of the key brand owners of Brazil, because it's kind of a little bit your baby, and you've been pushing us to go for Brazil, and it wasn't a hard sell, to be honest. But why is this such an important event from your perspective?
Well, I think, and I shared this with the team in London on Saturday, that Brazil is one of those, you know, the Global Annual Conference is a one event a year thing. It's the biggest event. It's the most prestigious event. And why would you not want to be an event where you can spend 8 days, 7 nights with like-minded people in an exclusive resort in a beautiful area of the world? It gives you an opportunity to expand your business into Brazil as well and work with your team while you're there if you've developed a team. but it's more about the atmosphere and what you're going to learn and the tips you're going to pick up, not just from stage, but from speaking to me here or Paul or Dan at the bar or over lunch or other leaders. It's just something that really enables you to recharge your batteries and get ready for the year ahead. And it's free. I mean, this is the thing.
You saw this in Mauritius as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you saw in Mauritius, those huddles of groups of leaders from different countries together at the villas or on the beach or in the bar. And they're maybe playing ping pong or snooker or having a swim, but they're talking business. They're learning from each other. They're motivating each other. And it's free. All you've got to do is help someone else and you get to go. And many direct selling companies, it's not free. You still have to qualify and buy a ticket. So this is up there. And Paul and I were talking about it on Saturday. And Paul was saying he's been to many events like this in his time working with the DSA for the decades he's been doing it. And we really are the top of the shop as regards to what Leo produces and the experience, the lifestyle experience that the members get. And I think many members, when they go to something like Mauritius or Brazil, it's a turning point for them in their business. Their belief level goes to a completely different level, and they can really start to achieve their dreams, plans, and goals quicker. So for those of you that haven't qualified, I really would say you must make the decision now, and you've got to do the work necessary, because we're over 50% qualified already. So 50% of that big resort, which is bigger than Mauritius, we've already had people qualified for. So I'm confident it's going to be fully qualified out before the end of the incentive period. So you've got to move quickly.
And what do you think that the final numbers will look like? Is this going to be another dominated by the Chinese event?
Well, currently it is, if we look at what's qualified so far. But, you know, the Chinese are very good at moving quickly. But there's still the opportunity, if everybody outside of China gets to work now, for it to be 50% China and 50% not China. Because Mauritius probably was more like 70-30. But, you know, we really need to get down and do the work quickly and find the new person, or if you've got new people that within the qualification period, help them get to associate and make it happen quickly. And there's enough going on with DMS and all the other things to make that happen rapidly.
Indeed, but it's nice to sort of see that people are qualifying now every week. So congratulations to the names on the board there. Really nice to see people from Trinidad and from the Caribbean qualifying as well. And they were in particular very, very enthusiastic about Brazil, because I think they see that they have an opportunity to build in the Brazilian market, which is another huge thing, of course. But fine, thank you for that, Andy. And we'll have to move on in the interest of time here. Me here, can you talk a little bit about the DMS and Leo Coin as we go forward with the GAM here?
Yeah, sure. Just to say, on the London event, you mentioned the visitors from Dubai. They did make the most of their visit, however. They came into the Oxfordshire office just this morning. I spent some time with them. They did a bit of a testimonial. It was very, very exciting to meet them. They'd come to London for the event on Saturday. They'd stayed around. I think this was their second trip to London, so they'd done the main tourist sites and decided the best thing they could possibly do in this country was come and see us in Oxfordshire. And it was wonderful to show them around the office and to have them here. And I highly recommend that to people. If you're sending your team members out to a distant event or to another country, or they're coming here for something, do get in touch with the local Leo team. Do get in touch with the local Leo office. We'd be more than happy to see you and talk to you and spend a bit of time with people who you send over to us. And I think they did a testimonial as well over in the media suite as well. So yeah, very, very pleased with that. And I believe they're in Mohammed Salim's team. So he's having quite a good week of it with that Nepal event and then these Dubai visitors. And if I look at the questions, as Mohammed Salim tells us, it's also Independence Day for Pakistan tomorrow. So many congratulations to Pakistan for their Independence Day as well. So, sorry, onto the digital market service. It's not going to be extended. I had a couple of calls on this, and we had a couple of conversations about that. We're holding firm on that date. And it really is as good a deal on the DMS that you're ever going to get. I don't believe there has ever been as short a delay between the purchase of the product and the first reward that it generates in the history of this product. So if you have people that still haven't taken advantage of the DMS, if you have people in your teams or new potential recruits or people you haven't spoken to yet about it, I highly, highly recommend that is what you do today and tomorrow. That is what you do before the end of this sales week, because, well, if they do it now, their award comes at the end of October, which is incredibly close for the DMS product. And if they wait till Thursday, or if they wait till, sorry, Wednesday afternoon, then their award will land in December, at the end of the year. Now, if you're anything like me, then patience is not one of my virtues, and that feels like an absolute lifetime away. So I'd highly, highly and strongly recommend that the DMS is the thing to focus on for the next couple of days. It really is an incredible product with incredible potential, and I know so many of you have qualified for Brazil using it. So many of you have built businesses that have got you to the UK in just a couple of weeks' time for the event then. So many of you have gone up ranks on the back of it. There's 2 more days when you can really, really push it incredibly hard. And I highly, highly recommend that you do so. You won't get a better DMS deal than the one that's currently on offer and is running out the day after tomorrow. So that doesn't, however, distract from the incredible excitement we're feeling about the next phase of Leo Coin. Now, as Dan's already said, the webinar next week on the 20th is the one where we're going to talk a bit more about this, and we'll talk a lot more about some of our plans for going forward. So that's the one to be on. But as you all know by now, Leo Coin is transitioning to Ethereum. It's becoming the cutting edge of blockchain technology in digital currency terms. It's moving to benefit from all of those working and smart contract technological advancements that Ethereum has already implemented, and to benefit from the ones that are due to come in the future. We're very, very excited about this. There's new exchanges that we should be able to get on. There's new smart contracts that will be, well, there are smart contracts that we'll be able to add to the Leo coin. There's new ways of incentivizing merchants. There's new ways of incentivizing our members, all of which we can use to drive up the excitement and drive up the interest around Leo coin, to really build that mass market community that we've been building and building and building for so long, and it's something that we can really nail, I think, with this move to Ethereum. So we're very, very excited about that. You'll be hearing much more about that next week, as well as our future plans. So I'll pause there. But really, what we're seeing now is this next phase in the business. The DMS has been incredible and continues to be so, but we've not forgotten about Leo coin. It's still so much a big part of our business, and I can't wait to tell you more about what we're going to do with it next and how we're going to incorporate that into our business. So there's some office closures coming up. I'll just deal with these, Dan, and then leave the call to action to you. But there are lots and lots of people on this call from those regions, from Turkey and Dubai and Cote d'Ivoire and Pakistan. Well, you'll know that it's Eid coming up. So be aware that our offices there will be closed, that you may have to wait a little bit longer than usual to get a response to your query or support issue, but just take note of those closures. They're coming up. You can't say we didn't warn you, and just be a little bit more patient when making a request of those particular offices. So Dan, can I hand over to you for the call to action?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm here. No, that's great. Thank you, Mihir. So one of the points that I want to make as well is that there's this wonderful English expression called the early bird gets the worm. And what that means is that it's the bird that gets out of bed first that gets the richer pickings, if you like. And we've seen that time and time again in business. And in business jargon, it's called first mover advantage, for instance. That means that the first person to come onto a battlefield or come onto a new technology or come onto a new product proposition or come onto something new usually has an advantage, the first mover advantage. We've seen that in a small way as well in our Leo business. So the people that first got involved in DMS, they had the benefit of those early months of incredible rewards because Leo coin, not Leo coin, but the Bitcoin benefited from a massively increase of public awareness and what have you. So the Bitcoin price was at an all-time high. And so when we launched that product, the early adopters of DMS got incredible rewards. I guess what I'm saying here now is that the early adopters, as we go into stage 3 of Leo Coin, will have a similar advantage and a similar positioning. So that means that for the next 36 hours, then close out DMS and do what you can there, and then get your teams ready for the launch as we go forward, because we've been a little bit cagey and a little bit not saying everything to you, but we are creating new product packages. We're creating new mechanisms for how you get awarded ownership awards. All of this will be centered around Leo Coin. And as we go into Ethereum, we have all sorts of funky things that we can do that we've alluded to over the last sort of 6 weeks on these calls. But it means that even when you don't fully understand everything, jump in and get involved, because you will have that early bird, early adopter benefit. So I think that my call to you now is that big things are coming. That notwithstanding, the DMS, the next 36 hours gives you an October reward. After that, it'll be December, maybe even January as we go forward, because that is still increasingly hard to move the mining side of that product proposition, and both in terms of hardware and offerings out there. So it is what it is. Buy a Leo Gold Pack to qualify for the Gold Compensation Plan and to be trained and licensed to market the auto-save product, because that is still working under the surface, and there's still stuff going on that side. We haven't forgotten anything incentive launch that will be around the upgrade to Leo Coin 3 will also coincide with the qualification for Brazil. So you'll be able to use that fair wind to power your vessel, your Leo business forward very, very powerfully. So it's kind of the next 2.5 months are, it is 2.5 months, yes, it's the next 2.5 months will be very important for you as you progress your business forward. You'll be able to move faster in the next 2.5 months than you will do in the next 5 months following that. So that's kind of what I wanted to conclude this call with, that we are approaching new and big things. We're approaching our next stage of growth of Leo, and all of you who are vested and committed and passionate about Leo Coin, you will not be disappointed, because we're going to take this forward. We're going to do something amazing with it, and you'll be part of that, because you, our community, are our secret weapon, and we're going to benefit you. We're going to benefit together, and we'll do something that can really make a dent in the world. So this is Dan saying thank you very much for coming on this call. Thank you very much for your ongoing commitment. We are very excited about where we're going as a business now, and we so want to see you soon and celebrate your success together. So Dan Anderson and me here, Andy Hansen, over and out. Thank you very much indeed.